yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Hello everybody! Happy Christmas to you all! I'm having a lovely dream then. Oh, we're at this party, Christmas party, and we were dancing, singing, there were food, presents. Oh, it was a really wonderful dream. And I were having a wonderful Christmas. Do you like me Christmas tree at back? Right, this video is going to be a long one. It's going to be like Ken Dodd. I'll tell you now it is. So I hope you're all going to grab your pot of tea, because Phil's got his. Going to be a long video today. I said I'd do 2 videos, didn't I? With it coming up to Christmas. Let's just have a drink of tea before we get on with it. Gorgeous. Hope you've all got your tea and sat down ready for this long video. Right, I'm going to try something new. I've got some fan mail here, but what I'm going to do is pull some cards from this deck. This one here. Can you see author there? Because I don't... That's the author of this deck. And we're going to have the characters from this deck with the letters for Phil's fan mail. And if with time, I'm also going to pull an angel card here from this deck, Angel Guide Oracle by Carl Gray. I want to show you this Christmas card before we start. It's a biblical card, and I believe it's what Christmas is all about, the true meaning of Christmas, isn't it? The birth of Jesus Christ. See angels there, 2 angels, and we've got some sheep. We've got the 3 kings, we've got the shepherd, we've got Mary, we've got Joseph and baby Jesus. And we've got the Star of Bethlehem just above. Just above the up there. I think we ought to have a lot more biblical cards on Christmas cards. Start going back to the true spirit of Christmas. I know Santa's alright and reindeers and fairies on the tree, but that's alright. It's alright for children and that, but adults, I think we ought to go back to the biblical cards and, you know, really have the meaning of Christmas. Right. I'm just going to put this down here. You can still see me, can't you? And this is a little snowman. Can you see it here? And it's got Christmas trees and houses round. And I'm going to put it on. A little tune for Christmas, isn't it? So I'm going to put this on while I'm talking to you and reading my cards. Just put that down there. Hope you can hear it. So, our first letter today, we'll get on with it because time's time. And our first letter is Mr. Ladder. I'll show you a picture of the card. This is the card. And that's him there. He works at a building site and he's called Mr. Ladder. And before he goes on, he says, "Dear Phil, I am writing today. Can you please, with it coming up to Christmas, say all your sayings? Can you say, "Dear Phil, time is time, and have you got your pot of tea?" Well, here you go, Mr. Ladder. Dear Phil, better get off, time's time. Have you all got your pot of tea? Hope you enjoy that, Mr. Ladder. And what's Mr. Ladder is saying? If it feels like it's on end of a plank there. This is the full card from that deck. It feels as though he wants to jump off it. And what he's saying is, Phil, just like the fool in the card where he's on the plank, I feel like jumping off. Oof, don't do that. Well, Phil, what it is I've had no partner for quite a few years. My partner went off with another woman. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Ladder. Yes, and I'm getting depressed. I'm working all hours and I don't seem to have any time for myself or anything, you know, and I'm getting really down. Have you any advice, Phil? Yes, I have, Mr. Ladder. What you ought to do, what I ought to do, not me, it's him, innit? Mr. Ladder, what you ought to do is look on the internet for dating agencies and try and get someone from the dating agents around about your age and what's got same interests as you, your hobbies and all that, and going out to meals, because you put it in the letter, you like to go out to meals and that, and you also like to do a bit of sport. Well, put all that in your CV for the lady so they can match you up on the dating agency. So that's my advice. I see that you are going to you want to pack in your job working on the building site, but don't do that, because according to this letter, what you say, the lads, your soul, your soul at party, you make them all laugh in the mornings. Some of them come in feeling, fed up that they've got to do on building site and it's raining or it's cold and snowy and that, and they're doing long hours, and you cheer them up and that, you tell jokes and you sing songs and that, and you just uplift the lads. So don't pack it in, because you'll be putting them down and all, and jobs are easy to find, and you might find when you go to another job, grass isn't as green, at the other side. So I'd stick to your job, Mr. Ladder, and try and get something out of that you are making other people happy by working with your colleagues, and go to a dating agency. Thank you for your letter. Thank you for your letter. I've got an angel card for you and all. Angel card for you, Mr. Ladder. And that is romance and connection. This goes with, wow, if that ain't really powerful, I don't know what. This card goes with Mr. Ladder. He were on about his romance and relationship, wasn't he? And he's going to go, I've asked him to go on dating agency, and it says romance and connection. So that's you. Right. Oh, that's a lovely letter. Oh, I love them. I really do. I love my letters every time. I'm going to do these a lot more. It's just great to hear these people. Right, our next letter is called Mrs. Flowerbed. Dear Phil, I am writing today to... It's not really advice, it's just to say, am I doing the right thing, Phil? I work on a small farm in Scotland, and for extra money, I do selling vegetables from our farm, taters and cabbage and stuff like that, and for extra money. And I have my daughter and son help me. Do you think this is a good idea? Well, Mrs. Flowerbed, here she is at work with her two daughters. So that's Mrs. Flowerbed. And fresh today for sale she's got there. And her daughter's helping out. They're giving carrots out. There's some onions, apples. And she does that as a sideline to help her. Well, Mrs. Flowerbed, yes, it is a good idea because it gets your kids out and you interact with the children and they're learning and all by money, you're selling money, and they're learning by jobs and all for near future, just educating your children. And it's giving you a little bit extra income, which we all do need these days, with everything going up, aren't we? Food going up, electric bill, gas bill, there's rent, people on strike. Oh, it's just chaos at the moment, isn't it, coming up to Christmas? So anything helps, you know. A little side job, you know, that's fine, you know, continue. And it's good that you take your daughter and your son with you to help you. Well done on you. Good letter. That's a lovely letter. Now then, I think I've got my boss. Do you remember I moved to an haunted house? Well, it's a massive stately home, and I've had to employ staff and that, and I've had to get a boss in and pay him, and it is my boss, and I'll let him be my boss even though I'm in charge of the stately home and that, you know. But he's called Mr. Benson, and I'll show him. He's really clever fella. He's right knowledgeable, Mr. Benson. There he is. He's always willing to help you at anything. Can you see him putting your hand out? Oh, he welcomes anybody to stately home. And he always makes sure they have a pot of tea and a nice meal in them before they leave. He's a real good fella, Mr. Benson, my boss. Well, what Mr. Benson is saying today, he'd rather write to me rather than speak to me, because they're that busy at the stately home. They have time to speak to me, so a lot of them write to me still. And what he's saying, dear Phil, I just wonder what you're wanting for Christmas, because I'm starting to get presents for all my staff. Well, that's good. I hope so, because my last boss, he were a rich fella. I won't mention no names because he were a right rich fella what I used to work for. I were a cleaner and I used to clean with this woman. And it were getting near Christmas and I used to clean his office. I used to clean everything in office, his trophies and everything. He had a picture of his yacht, a picture of it, the plane he had. I cleaned all that. And there were loads of bottle of wine and that and chocolates in the corner of his office. And I was saying to cleaner, we're going to get something from him this year. He's got loads of bottles of wine in his office and he's got loads of chocolates. And you know, we were getting down and down as Christmas Eve were coming up. And we got to about 2 bottles and then 2 boxes of chocolates. And I said to my friend cleaner, I said, these are for us, we're going to get them. I said, he's going to give us them as soon as we're going to get off and get his coat on. He'll come to... Anyhow, we got... I won't swear, but we got nothing. We really did, we got nothing. So, Mr. Benson, I'm really pleased you're getting me a present. He's asking me what I want. Well, Mr. Benson, you can always get me some tarot cards or oracle cards or angel cards. Oh yes, get us some of them, Mr. Benson. I'll love that. So, and Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Benson, and keep up your good work. You're doing really well as a boss there. Well done on you. Thank you for your letter, Mr. Benson. Oh, that nice. Wasn't that lovely of Mr. Benson? Right, who we got? Right, we've got... let's see who we've got. I'm having to say... Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative. Oh. Dear Phil, I work as a chef in one of the restaurants, but I'm always very bossy and telling people off and swearing and that and getting really upset and rushing people and I really get angry and that. Have you any advice? Yes, I have, Mr. Angry. You could do with next year going to angry management before it gets any worse, because I've seen the picture. Look at this, my fans. Look at him. Look how nasty he is. And this is the 5 of blades, and he's got a knife in his hand, and his staff there looking at him. So yes, Mr. Angry, you need to go to angry management next year straight away. But what this card's telling me, and I hope you get on and let me know. Write to me and let me know how you get on, Mr. Angry. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you and all, Mr. Angry. And I hope you're not angry at Christmas. Try and enjoy Christmas, Mr. Angry. Try and enjoy it. Right, wasn't that a lovely letter? Right, let's see who else we've got. We've got Mr. Woods. Dear Phil, I am writing to say that don't you think there should be more scouts and Girl Guides, brownies? They seem to be all dropping off. Churches shut down, community centres are shutting down, and there's less kids going to scouts and cubs and beavers and Girl Guides. Yes, Mr. Wood, I do think there should be more scouts and more brownies and Girl Guides and beavers. Even if the churches are shutting down, the community centres, they can always start up at some centres, you know, where you can start up and start up the scout movement and the brownies and the Girl Guides. So you kids out there, youngsters or parents, get your kids to go to scouts, brownies, Girl Guides, beavers. They're starting to lose and shut down, a lot of them, and there's not many around and that. We need them. Bob a Job. Remember Bob a Job week? I remember them coming round, Bob a Job scouts and that, Girl Guides and brownies, doing jobs for old folk and that, you know, and it were a real good help in them days. So yes, we need them back. What, that another good letter? Aren't we getting some good letters? Do you know I haven't pulled them cards? I'll pull Mr. Wood a card. Angel card for you, Mr. Wood. And that is listen deeply. So you have to listen deeply to what we're saying. Listen deeply. Right, our next letter. Mr. Little. He's called Mr. Little. Dear Phil, I hope you can help me and give me some advice. I am bad altogether. I do everything bad. I am a bad apple, yes, and with this picture what I see, you're a little devil. You definitely are a little devil. Everything about you is totally negative and bad. Yes, I would like to have some advice, Phil. Well, I'm going to give you advice. There he is. And what it is the devil card. He's driving down the wrong one-way street. He's not looking where he's going when he's driving. There's drink there. He's smoking, gambling, nearly knocking people down. He is a little devil. And My advice to you is, well, to everybody when it coming up to Christmas, do not drink and drive. You don't drink and drive. Stop bad habits like taking drugs. Try and give up smoking. Alcoholic. Cut down on your beer. All bad habits into the new year. You need to knock it all off. Like this guy here. And my advice to this fella is take up some sort of hobby. Or if not a hobby, join a religious group. Who knows? Be a Christian. You'll find by meeting people, getting out, you'll find that you want to do good for the church or your religious movement, and you'll find that you want to do good for God instead of doing bad things and knowing that you're going to go to hell. Stop your bad habits. Start being good. Thank you for your letter, and a Merry Christmas to you. And a Merry Christmas to you. Well, that's another good letter. I love it. Oh, there's a card for him and all. He'll definitely need this card, won't he? What a very nasty fellow, wasn't he? And this is joy and commitment. Well, that does suit him, innit? He's got to have a bit of joy and commitment. Right. Our next letter. Oh, we've got Mr. Stick. Mr. Stick. Dear Phil, before I go on, can you sing a little Christmas song? Well, not one for Christmas, Mr. Stick, but I'll give it a go. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Hope next year Phil continues his angel cards and tarot card readings. Let's hope he has a wonderful Christmas and he'll be saying his sayings next year. Something like, Dear Phil, time's time. Have you got your pot of tea? He'll be saying all them sayings next year, reading his angel cards and also tarot cards and oracle cards and doing his fan mail and jokes and anything that goes. So have yourself a merry little Christmas. Will that do for you, Mr. Stick? Dear Phil, I am Mr. Stick. I walk with a stick because I've got arthritis, so I'm sorry for that, Mr. Stick. Here he is. He's a teacher. There he's teaching his pupils in school. Do you think, Phil, we need more pay? Yes, you do. You do a lot of hard work and you put up with a lot of things in schools, teachers. Can you hear that nice tune in background? Christmas tune. Isn't it lovely? It's a clock we've got, and when it comes Christmas, you can put little tunes on, Christmas tunes. They're really good, you know. At every hour it plays a tune, and there's one what's in background. Anyhow, let's get on. Time's time, Phil. Time's time. So, Mr. Stick, what he is saying is, yes, you do need more pay. And also, he says, do you think that religion education should be a lot more in schools, teaching about various religions? Yes, I do, Mr. Stick. Like you've got on the blackboard there at back, I can see loads of different symbols of different religions, what you're teaching. And I agree with that, yeah. Teaching all religions, so children have a knowledge of all different religions and beliefs. But obviously there's only one God, but we all come back to the same one God, don't we? And he's also saying that should children eat more healthy in schools and a lot more PE? Yes, so that's something else and all. I think there should be more PE rather than they just have odd one, don't you? PE lessons. There should be a lot more PE lessons, and dinner time they should have a lot more fruit and veg for the kids and all. Well, wasn't that a good letter? I've really enjoyed it today. These letters. It's been really good. And thank you, Mr. Stick. I hope you get a pay rise next year, because I'm not too sure whether you're all going to come out on strike, teachers, next year. But I'm all supporting you. If you do, I'll support you if you do. Like I support the nurses coming out on strike, Royal Mail, you know, all the ones what are on strike. I do support them because at the end of the day, they still to pay bills like us, don't they? And they still have families. And wages haven't gone up. Mine haven't gone up for years, my wage. So yeah, I'm all supportive for people coming out on strike. I know it's a bit disruptive, isn't it, with Christmas and us travelling to try and get to family and friends near Christmas, and they're all striking and that, and it's putting us all out. But just support them, because the government's got to realise that we've got to have our wages going up and that. And the short staff and all sorts. There ain't enough staff these days. There's that problems and all. Oh, I tell you. But wasn't that a good letter? Keep them coming. Keep these fan mail coming. I've got thousands and thousands. They're still coming even though Royal Mail's been on strike. Because my postman, he's really a special. I've known him for years, and bless him, he said he went on strike a little bit, but he says, I thought I'd get Phil's letters to him. He's got thousands. So he went on strike a little bit, but he still got in his van and got all the letters to my haunted house and that. So I'm very pleased with him. Right, I think you need an angel card. And that is courage and bravery. Courage and bravery. We all need that. Right, I'm going to get off because time's time. I'm looking at the time. I'll hold some angel cards up before I get off. Have a good Christmas, won't you? Keep smiling, keep safe. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye.